Welcome back to Beast Wars Wednesday.
I do declare that I am your host, Decepticon Dog.
I dare say I'm your other host, Predacon Paul, as it were.
Yes, indeed, it is.
Yes, indeed.
As it were, yes.
Today's episode is called Feral Scream.
As they say.
That's the worst feral scream ever. Just, it is a dark and stormy night. Like, literally.
It is actually a dark and stormy night, it's true.
Megatron and Waspinator are up to no good.
They're flying around.
Hauling what looks like a stasis pod.
Yeah, you know, it's been a while since we've seen a stasis pod. Mm-hmm. Where they been? So Optimus and Cheetor are right around the same area. They're like...
And you can tell it's the same area because it's dark.
And stormy.
They detected something.
A beacon. And then Optimus is like, hey, Cheetor, is it a beacon or is it a beacant?
Because if this is a beacant and you're a beacant, you should go back home. And he's like, no, I can do this. I'm your bot.
But anyway, Megatron shows up and then a fight ensues.
One of the greatest, this is in my top 3 Beast Wars battles. Megatron gets the drop on Optimus.
Yes.
He fires a beam. And Optimus turns around and he zooms in using his binocular vision and sees that Megatron is over yonder in the canyon. Mm-hmm. So he locks on.
But seriously for a second, everybody, this fight looks so goofy.
Like, what the hell were they thinking?
They're like this far apart. It looks like it was played for comedy, but they're playing it completely straight. Why are they not hitting each other? Eventually, Megatron hits Optimus somehow, despite the great distance that they are. The stasis pod falls. Protect it with your life, Waspinator, with your life!
And he's like,
and he catches it, and
with his life?
With his whole life.
Yeah, he caught that.
Cheetor gets knocked around a little bit. Cheetor, for some reason, stayed in beast mode for an oddly long time during this fight. He just kind of watched it happen for a while.
Yeah.
Cheetor falls down, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna show Waspinator who's boss. And he pulls out this gun he's never had before. It's this huge sniper rifle.
Which fires the rockets.
Yeah, so actually that's kind of cool. It goes whoosh, and clumsily he shot it directly toward Optimus. Good job, Cheetor.
What was he thinking?
Optimus is like, no! And then boom, bang, Optimus falls, all the rocks fall on him, Megatron cackles, him and Waspinator both fly away. Cheetor's like, big bot!
Why'd you go and get in the way of my missile like that?
Jeez.
God.
He's trying to unbury Optimus, and then somebody throws a pizza.
A glowing pizza.
The rocks blow up, and Optimus is freed, and Depth Charge walks up, and he's like, I better find X. I smell a stupid, stinky spark around here somewhere. And then he goes off. Optimus is like, don't do it! Get back up!
Ugh. I don't need backup. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Optimus is like, Cheetor, stop screwing up. I'm gonna go get fixed. You get back up, and then help out Depth Charge.
You big failure.
And Cheetor's like,
you loser. You disappointed me for the last time, Cheetor. But it went something like that. It wasn't exactly like that.
It was pretty close to that.
Pretty close to that.
Yeah, so Cheetor's like, alright, that's it. I'm gonna go prove myself and save Depth Charge. Megatron and Waspinator are going around this big gizmo-y thing in the mountainy place thing. Megatron pulls out this doohickey gizmo thing that looks alien by design.
Looks like a koosh ball.
Megatron loves him some Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And he starts quoting, what is it, The Tempest? I don't know. I'm actually not that well educated in Shakespeare.
I am not gonna say that it's The Tempest.
But seriously, guys, what is it from? Which Shakespeare is it? I literally don't know.
We could Google, but that would be cheating. So he starts saying things about lightning. Waspinator's like,
Yes, master. Because, hey, you know what? While we're doing Shakespeare, let's throw in a little Frankenstein in there, too. So then he puts the gizmo in the bigger gizmo, and then these
which is attached to another gizmo.
They attach into the stasis pod gizmo, the protoform, and then they puts in Rampage's half spark.
So then this antenna thing comes out of the roof thing. You know, everybody knows that the power requirements for reactivating a blank protoform is somewhere in the ballpark of, I think, 1.21
gigawatts.
Yeah, so it gets hit by lightning, and then the DeLorean goes back in time.
Bam, 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 bam.
Where they're going, they don't need roads.
Out emerges from the stasis pod a big old clunky dinosaur. A big Roboraptor who's more robo-y than the last Roboraptors from the last episode.
And Megatron calls him a transmetal dude.
And guess what else he calls him? Dinobot. So Depth Charge shows up. He's like, hey, guess what? I hate everybody. And shoots everybody. And then...
Because he hates them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you could read between the lines. New Dinobot jumps on him, does this sort of improbable kick thing in midair. And then takes him down, but guess who shows up to save the day? Cheetor.
Pew-pew! Pew-pew! And he shoots Megatron, who takes it in the shoulder. He's like, "Arr!" And then he goes down hard.
Spark extinguished.
Predacons should be thinking. Spark extinguished.
The Dinobot transforms, he blows his finger off, because that's what he does. Cheetor grabs the alien thingy.
In a great father-son moment, he sends a nice deep spiral to Depth Charge.
Depth Charge, go deep!
It's a touchdown.
Cheetor gets hit into the electric thingy.
That thing.
And then, guess what happens?
Kaplow!
Kaplow! Everything explodes! Depth Charge lands, and a piece of Cheetor lands by him, and he's like, oh no. So he heads right back to the base, and then Optimus is like, where's Cheetor?
I got a thing or two to say to him.
Depth Charge shows up, throws Optimus a piece of Cheetor, goes like, the kid was tough, he went out fighting.
Alright, see you later, guys.
In a moment that I really genuinely like, there is this real genuine moment of despair on Optimus' face. Mm-hmm. For fairly early CG animation, actually emotes pretty well.
Heck yeah. Depth Charge then decides, you know what, I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to scan it.
So apparently it is of alien origin, the computer tells him, and it does stuff that they don't know what it is. And Depth Charge is like, sounds like garbage to me. That's one of the problems with our society these days. We don't try and fix anything. We just throw it out and get a new one.
So then guess what? Like Raccoon's like, hey.
She's a lot like a dog. You throw something, she'll chase it.
Well, she's been hanging out with Silverbolt for so long. She ends up chasing after the ball and nearly roasting herself to death. And she's like, hang on a second. Alien writing. I know this writing. It's alien.
And she's like, I could probably do something with this. Megatron's like, hey, Dinobot? And he likes being able to say that. You can tell. He's like, yes, finally I have a Dinobot. I want you to go and get that thing back from Depth Charge. So, he does. Depth Charge gets up out of the CR chamber. He's all better. He's like, yeah, I can take on anything.
Yeah, because I'm all better.
And then the computer in his head is like, Rampage is near. He's like, oh, yeah. He pulls out his guns. Mm-hmm. And he's like, all right, gonna kill some Rampage.
He's got his tuna shooter.
Yeah, that's the best kind. I love it when he shoots the tuna. So he goes into this area right around the Maxwell base. So Dinobot appears and ties up Depth Charge. Suddenly this new Dinobot can talk, because he hasn't really talked to this point. He's gone, and I was like, give me the thing. And Depth Charge is like, I got rid of it. Megatron shows up, give me the thing. Depth Charge is like, I got rid of it. And then all of a sudden they hear in the distance, I can't really make the noise. I guess I'm not a cougar, everybody. I'm sorry. No. But give me a few more years and a sex change, I'll be right there.
And then all of a sudden, bam! This thing hits them. And it's so fast that nobody can even track its movements.
They shoot a lot, and it just zooms by. Rampage and Dinobot are trying to shoot him. They didn't listen to Egon's advice, and they cross the streams and went and they go flying off. Like, but in the realm of physics, a little bit improbable. Megatron's like, no! And then Waspinator comes by, because, hey, he's Waspinator. He's got to make his next cameo. And Megatron just shoots him, because he's all like, ooh, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's gonna...
He gets taken out so hard.
It's, a little gratuitous, you know. The dangerous cat that we don't know who it could possibly be zooms by Megatron, and he starts spinning around like the Tasmanian devil, goes all around the place, falls off a cliff. In a very cartoony moment, just even looks at the camera and goes, whoopsie. Falls to his death, and we never see him again.
Poof, there's a cloud, and then his spark joined those of Cybertron.
Yeah, the bad people. The eternal spanking arena. All eternity long.
And then the cat, like, it could be any cat, yeah.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Walks up to Depth Charge. Depth Charge has a strong relationship with Catfish. They see eye to eye. But before they can really seal the bond, Optimus comes down from the sky. He's like, get away from him, you fiend! And then off he goes.
The dangerous cat zooms off. And then Optimus is like, And Depth Charge is like, can you untie me now?
He's like, I can't. I'm stroking my chin.
They go back to the base. Optimus is like, well, I'm in my beast mode for the first time since Optimal Situation, you know, and I was in my beast mode for all of 3 seconds. Unless you're paying close attention, you'd be like, why does Optimus look like a gorilla? Oh, right. Because this is Beast Wars.
Not Car Wars.
Not even Jet Wars.
Not Tank Wars.
Beast Wars.
Not Robot Wars, because that title's already taken.
As Optimus is going like, I wonder what happened. And then all of a sudden, Cheetor shows up. He's like, oh! And he falls over, and they're like, Cheetor?
Help me! But then he refuses their help, because in the next episode, Optimus is all like, I know we were to be continued. But Cheetor, he doesn't want to go in the CR chamber. Optimus is still scratching his freaking chin.
This whole time, during the whole, like, the week-long break between Feral Scream Part 1 and Feral Scream Part 2, he's just been stroking his chin. Thinking so hard. I stroke my chin a lot, as you may have noticed, when I've got a lot to think about. Cheetor's having a nap.
It's like his usual naps, all distorted and fish lensy.
Yeah.
They're like, you get in the CR tank.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, I'm having a dream here, guys, as I always do.
Where's Big Bot?
Because, you know, like, we do see Cheetor's dreams a lot. Like, I feel, do we see anyone else's dreams in Beast Wars, or is it always Cheetor's?
Always Cheetor's.
I think so. And everyone's making fun of him, calling him ugly, because that was always something that Cheetor had to deal with through the series, was his attractiveness. He wakes up with a dream, he's like, a green thing comes out of his chest. He's like, oh, and then you don't see what happens because hey, it's a surprise. And Optimus is like, okay, Rat Trap, how's everything looking out there? Rat Trap's like, hey, pretty good. And then he goes for a little rat nap as he's doing his guard duty because Rat Trap is extremely responsible.
And then all of a sudden there's a commotion coming from below decks.
Rat Trap pulls out his gun. He's like, I better see what's going on. She's about to open the door of Cheetor's room, but out comes this big cat. Who could it be? This gigantic cat coming from Cheetor's room.
No, dude, it's a cat monster.
Of course it's a cat monster. I didn't know where to take that. But yeah.
I was waiting.
I was like, come on, Doug. Be funny. Be funny, Doug. Or Optimus pokes head in and he's like, hello? What's going on?
Boys, maybe you want to come over and see what's happening?
And Rat Trap's like, there was a big monster, a big cat evil thing. And
they got Cheetor.
Cheetor. Wah, wah.
Oh man, Cheetor's dead.
Definitely dead.
I
hate it when that happens.
Right in his quarters when the doors were closed inside the base. When the doors were closed.
Just snuck right in there.
And not leave a trace of him behind. But Optimus thinks that there's something up.
Something might be happening.
He's been stroking his chin for some time now.
He took a break from stroking his chin to tell Rat Trap to watch the monitors. Then he went down to stroke it again.
Yeah.
His chin, that is. Elsewhere, by the Predacon base, we hear Megatron looks into the little view screen and he sees, oh, look at that. It's that kitty cat who sent me off in that Tasmanian devil spin. And she gave me this owie on my chest. Okay, time to deal with this meow meow. Dinobot, Waspinator,
You're in charge.
go deal with the meow meow.
He puts Waspinator in charge.
Yeah, because, seniority. Waspinator has been there the longest.
That's right, and according to the Predacon Union, those with seniority and more experience should take the lead in these operations.
Yes.
Cheetor wakes up in a cave.
And he's like, wait a minute.
I'm all better now.
Look at me. I'm shiny again.
That was one weird dream. First I got attacked by a cat creature that couldn't possibly be me, but that's just him in denial.
You do know they landed somewhere in Africa, so there's probably denial. Cheetor shows back up to the maximal base.
To the base.
Like he said. Wait, where was it?
To the maximal base, yo.
Oh, right. Okay, so Cheetor shows up to the maximal base. I'm not dead.
Everyone's like, we knew you weren't dead.
We should have known. So yeah, I destroyed that monster beast thing. It's gone. Killed it. Optimus like, awesome. Show me. Cheetor and Optimus land in a place where the remains are. So I guess it's around here somewhere.
And Optimus is like, listen.
Hey, I'm gonna turn into my gorilla mode again. Scratch my armpits like the monkey I am.
And then, what does he see?
Dun-dun-dun.
And you know what? Who gets the drop on them? Dinobot. Why? Because he knows what Optimus's weakness is. That wasn't a banana tree. You could tell that it wasn't a banana tree.
No.
But Optimus couldn't see the forest for the trees because all he could see was the banana.
Yeah.
And Dinobot laid the trap and he blasted him with his eye laser.
Pew! Right in the boob. Right in the gorilla boob. And then Cheetor's like, what?
And then he goes Super Saiyan.
And then he's like, whoa. This is totally radical, dudes.
I'm not even like the same bot anymore.
I'm ripped now.
This is just so tubular.
Then he's like, hey, you shot my friend. That's totally bogus, dude. Dinobot's like, roar.
You need this, friend?
Shoots Optimus again, and then Cheetor just loses it.
He's like, that was gnarly.
And it turns into his Cheetor form, and then they roll around, and they start fighting, and then they roll around more, and then they...
Optimus calls for backup.
Yeah, he's like, hey, can I have some backup, please? I guess we need it, maybe? Bring me a new nipple. So they reach a standoff after rolling around and making out for a long time. And then Rat Trap and Silverbolt show up, pull out their guns, and Dinobot's like,
This isn't over.
So Rat Trap and Silverbolt are like, oh, it's that maniacal cat again. We're gonna kill it this time. He's like, no! That's Cheetor! I'm gonna help him out by touching his spark, which is...
on his hip.
And it's not a good place for it, because suppose he gets shot in the leg and his leg comes off and then his spark is in there and his body topples over and dies, but his leg is still functioning and hopping around on its own. That's how
We could take the leg and then clone the rest of the body from the leg.
I like it. Science. So Optimus is like, don't worry, Cheetor, I'll help. Bing!
And then he tells him,
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Cheetor's like, I am! I'm a good boy! I'm a good boy, Optimus!
maximize!
And Optimus, he goes in for the hug, going in for the real thing. And Cheetor's like, Optimus, that's not excellent. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Back at the maximal base, Cheetor's looking in the mirror. He's like, well, I guess this is how I look now, so...
I've got fur in other places now.
Black Arachnia shows up behind him, and she's like, hey, man, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice tuchus.
Your arms are really coming out.
We've been working out.
And, man, nice goatee.
This is like Transmetal 2, right?
Black Arachnia's like, okay, cool. See you later.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He's got all these hormones. He's becoming a man. You know, there's all this sexual tension that he thinks is there. She only cares about the potential for her to have a transmetal body.
So Cheetor looks at himself in the mirror. He's like, hey, I think I like it. And Black Arachnia pulls the big magic ball out of...
Subspace.
Yes, out of subspace, let's say. And she's like, I like it too.
Squeezes it, and then Rampage is like, ah! Oh wait, that was a different episode.
Yeah. The end. Feral Scream. Things that I liked. I do like the characterization of Depth Charge. Yeah, no, it was good to see him again, doing his Depth Chargey thing, searching for Protoform X, being a renegade.
It was nice to see them stay true to his character. He wasn't like, Optimus, look, I found it. Megatron was up to no good. He makes decisions for himself.
And it is nice to see that dynamic in the Maximal Base. That's totally like a Predacon, like Predacons doing things behind each other's backs. Mm-hmm. Although it has a Maximal twist because he is still doing things in the best interest of the Maximals. He figures like, this is the best way to deal with the situation. This is out of Megatron's hands. I want to keep it out of his hands. Whew. I do actually like the story, and I do feel like there haven't been that many like Cheetor stories in a while. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have the focus in on him again. There's a certain atmosphere to the episode. There's a lot of like thunder and lightning and
like the theme.
Yeah, there's a
monster movie theme.
I thought that there were some pretty good comedy moments with Quick Strike.
Oh yeah.
And
I thought it was hilarious.
And
true to his character.
Waspinator. I thought they overdid Waspinator a little bit in this. Like there were like 3 separate occasions where he was just brought in to be scrapped. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay guys, I get it.
We're also watching it one after another though.
That's true.
It might not have seemed like so much if it was done over the course of a week. But yeah, I completely get what you're saying.
But yeah
even taking like a day between episodes helps to relieve that sort of like
redundancy.
Overexposure.
Yeah.
I'm finding it difficult to find things about the episode that I liked because I feel like there's ways they could have taken it that would have made more sense. No one seems to care that Dinobot's there. They're like, oh yeah, that Dinobot clone, another chopper face or lizard or whatever. No one tries to communicate with him. This is a real opportunity for them to be like, Dinobot, like what the hell? And have this like really strong moment where it plants the first seed of doubt in Dinobot. This is one of those stories that I think really could have benefited from, rather than Cheetor being the focus, the fact that he's trying to clone Dinobot, the whole catalyst for this whole sequence of events, and they brush over it like it's not even there.
Or what would have even helped out a lot would have been even a moment of them trying to communicate with him and them having to realize that this isn't the Dinobot that they knew.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even really anything like that.
No, actually one of the things that I liked about it, the whole idea of these 2 episodes in my mind when I'm looking at it was to get these 2 in a ring together. To finally have them fight it out. Because we see what one Transmetal 2 can do to Rampage, Megatron, and Quick Strike all at the same time. And it shows just how deadly these Transmetal 2s are because they're not just like Transmetal 2 isn't just a name. It's also like, I think, like it goes to show with how damaged Megatron was with that one claw, that one scratch that he got, how much harder the metal is in the Transmetal 2 than it is in Megatron's form. And he's arguably one of the more durable non-immortal Transformers in the Beast Wars. And then you see him and Dinobot finally go head-to-head. That ends up becoming the point of these 2 episodes, is to see them fight each other, and you can see that their claws are not damaging each other. It's kind of cool, but it also, I think, took away from what I think the focus of the story should have been, the reemergence of Dinobot. What they should have done was not go with Dinobot at all, because his body was gone, and they should have gone with maybe finding some way to extract from the lava pit Pterosaur or Scorponok. And if they extracted them, and because they were transmetal, if they were like melted and broken and like encased in like hard lava or something, and they somehow broke through it and breathed new life into one of them using the Immortal Spark, I think that would have gone a long way to making, I think, a better story, but it wouldn't have been as impactful for the Maximals. But then again, neither was this story because no one seemed to give a rat's ass.
I like the idea of this thread being carried through the series of Megatron being butthurt about Dinobot. And the fact that he could just never let... The fact that he could just never let Dinobot go. He was never over it. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that aspect of it. But there just does feel something kind of incomplete about bringing in Dinobot here. It was sort of like we acknowledge that this was a very popular character, so we're bringing him back, and he's bad. I have to confess, I never really got into the Transmetal 2 stuff.
I had the toys, but...
Some of the toys are pretty cool. Actually, there was one I really liked named Scarab. He was this scarab, and he was a smaller toy, but like he was pretty scary looking. He didn't have hands at all. His pinchers from his beast mode just turned into his arms, and so he just had gigantic claws for arms. I do feel like there's some missed opportunities as far as like it doesn't feel like we're getting any new characters. We're just getting new bodies for the old characters, and that kind of feels a little cheap to me. Great, we have a new Optimus. Great, we have a new Cheetor. Great, we have a new Dinobot. The only new character we've actually gotten lately is Depth Charge, which is a great new character. there's all these stasis pods around. Why are we relying on the old bodies when we've already changed Optimus? We already changed Cheetor. Why not bring in some new blood? I don't know. I do remember thinking that this is a pretty good pair of episodes when I was younger. Watching it this time was a little disappointing. I just feel like the second part was a little stronger because it was actually pretty decently character focused, but man, the first part really is very rushed.
Megatron spends all this time with this Shakespearean monologues and Waspinator's doing this character thing. They end up wasting so much time accomplishing absolutely nothing, all for the sake of bringing out this new toy that isn't new. And then, oh wait a second, there's going to be another new toy. It just seemed like a big toy commercial. And I know we've used that analogy before, but it really, this time, the storytelling and the pacing and the fight, it was all so clunky and it just seems so, as you say, rushed. I can't help but look at that first episode like it's just this clunky mess. Yeah, and
clunky is a good word because there's also the geography of some of the fights. It just seemed a little bit like a lot of weird camera angles. Not real cameras, obviously, but I don't know, the tail flipping around, knocking Cheetor over here, and then later on the whole Rampage and Dinobot blasting each other and then flying off. It all seemed like a mess. And this part, I hate it so much. I can't even express to you how much I hate it. The Tasmanian Devil spinning thing that Megatron does, I guess what they were going for is this is too dark. We gotta lighten the mood with a little bit of cartoonish antics. And I've never liked it when they fall back on goofiness at the cost of the story and the consistency. Dinobot flattening like a piece of paper and stuff like that. And then this is just the same thing. It's even worse because it goes on forever and then he looks at the camera uh-oh, and falls. Then it goes right back down to this sort of really eerie mood of
he can fly!
It goes right back down to this eerie mood of Cheetor and depth charge face to face, and that stuff's great. The moments of Cheetor and this uncertainty and this animal stuff, that's so cool. Why did it have to be interrupted by this stupid, goofy Tasmanian Devil spinning around scene? I as you can see, I have some very strong opinions.
He can fly.
Yes, there's that too.
Why did he have to fall?
He didn't have to fall. And I hated it as a kid. I hated it when I saw it as well. Look, all I wanted was for them to take this show as seriously as I was.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah. But no, honestly, as a kid, you notice when they're being cheap. Don't discount kids. We can take it. We don't mind the darkness. We don't mind.
You already killed Dinobot.
Yeah, we all survived that. We all cried and were traumatized, but we loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want. Traumatize us. This is me really fixating on that stupid Tasmanian Devil bit.
No, I am with you 100%. It was really dumb.
Okay, anyway.
I hated it, maybe not as much as you do.
And usually I'm the one who has to rein you in. I'm oh, okay, calm down, Paul. Just a show. We seem to be in agreement. We want to give Feral Scream 2 out of 5 cheetah goatees. It's actually kind of disappointing. I kind of went into this with high hopes. We didn't hate it though. That's the thing. Is that it wasn't like it was painful to get through. It's just when we looked at the logic of the story and the potential that it had, it really didn't match it.
Certain things also couldn't be overlooked. Megatron and Optimus are veterans, and they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I mean,
yeah. But I will say, at least that was funny.
Well, it not be one of our favorite episodes ever. If you thought it was a good episode, feel free to make a case for this episode because I have fonder memories of it when I was a kid. If we're honestly overlooking something, please tell us.
Yeah.
Share with us. Engage with us.
We want to hear why. We want to have that discussion.
We want to hear why.
Paul, that is exactly what I was getting at. Thanks for touching on that.
You're welcome.
So please subscribe, share with all your Transformer-loving friends. That friend you go hey, do you remember Beast Wars? They're yeah, that was my favorite show. Be hey, have I got the web series for you? And don't forget,
tell your mom.
Wow, 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 wow.